Coming up next is our player spotlight with a new signee for the Empire Strykers, none other than Anthony Wright. Joining us next, brought to you by Cement Pro. Joining us today as our featured player spotlight, getting to know the new faces around the Empire Strykers, is none other than Anthony Wright. Anthony is a defender midfielder, 25 years old, joining us from Nottingham Forest, and certainly has some ties to some other faces around the club. We'll dive into that and a lot more coming up. But first and foremost, Anthony, welcome to Empire. Say hello to the fans.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. It's a real pleasure. I look forward to meeting all the fans face to face, but so far it's been great being here.
Obviously, Anthony, you grew up around the game, but for the fans that don't know, that maybe haven't made the connection yet, well, tell us a little bit about growing up and how you were involved in the beautiful game as a kid.
Yeah, so really started playing from a very young age. About as early as I could walk, I was kicking a football. So it's in the family, as you know from my name. My dad played, so I grew up watching him. And as soon as I was old enough to kick a ball, I was doing so. And yeah, I was playing my youth in San Diego with the Nomads, local team in San Diego. And I moved across to England at 16 to play for Nottingham Forest there for a couple years before ending my playing career in Norway. And that point, I decided to go back to school, get a degree, and now I'm back on the pitch. And really excited to be here.
Now, that must have been a culture shock. Here you are, 16-year-old kid, San Diego. I grew up about an hour north of San Diego, so I kind of know that world, that environment, that vibe. And all of a sudden, you get thrown into what is, a proper football culture at Nottingham Forest. That must have been wild.
There was a real learning curve. Yeah, Southern California, we would go straight from the beach to practice. Still got sand on your feet. To going into a full-time soccer football environment is a huge culture shock, but one I enjoyed for sure. But there was definitely a heavy transition.
Do you have some favorite moments from your experiences playing overseas?
Um, Gosh, a couple. So we were fortunate enough to win the U18 Premier League one of my seasons there, which was really special. And then outside of that, maybe FA Youth Cup quarterfinal in front of a lot of our fans playing Liverpool. That was a really special game. But then, there were some fun preseason moments getting to play against, Tottenham Hotspur first team and a couple other Premier League clubs. So there was a few special moments that I definitely won't forget.
So did you square off versus Harry Kane?
No, unfortunately not. But Son was playing, which was pretty cool.
That's wild. I have a lot of Korean friends, as most of us do here in the greater Los Angeles area, and he is a godlike figure in that community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was a very special moment.
As opposed to most new signees coming into the league, you have a pretty intimate knowledge with the indoor game. You've seen it throughout your life as you've experienced it through your father. What are your current thoughts on the current MASL this upcoming season and the Empire Strikers?
Yeah, I guess it's an interesting one because I've never actually played indoor, but grew up around the game, practicing, with my dad's teams as a kid. So I've been around it for some time, and really love the sport and look forward to actually doing it myself. It's really exciting to me. But yeah, it's really cool to see how the league has developed and how it's kind of transitioned over the last, gosh, maybe 15 years that I've been privy to it. It's really cool. And, there's teams in Mexico now, across the country, and I know a lot of players in the league too, which makes it exciting. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to.
So when you finally get a chance to suit up and the fans get to watch you play, tell us a little bit about the skill set that Anthony Wright brings to the table. What should we expect to see when you're out there balling out?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think I pride myself on trying to make my teammates better. I think that's my strongest attribute is bringing the best out of the players around me. Um, Very versatile. I like to think I can do a job anywhere on the pitch. And yeah, left-footed, creative, tough in the tackle. Yeah, I just want to show off my versatility and help the team in any way possible.
Well, we know that there's an obvious connection you have out there to the Empire Strikers through your father. What kind of dynamic is that going to bring to the team and to the locker room? We know it's been very successful in the past when, especially here in domestic soccer, you look at, Michael Bradley and Bob Bradley, Wolf down in Austin, both him and his father on the same team there as well, too. So what's that going to be like? Is that going to be hard to go home after a game and be able to sit down at a dinner table and not be able to turn off coach? And when does dad turn on? How does that dynamic play out?
No, it's really interesting that you touched on it because you really see that so much here in this country. A lot of father son duos, and a lot of them very successful, as you said. Um, I think it works with us so well just because of how passionate we are about the game that we don't really have to switch off, and that's okay with both of us. And yeah, and always just trying to find that competitive edge, even when you go home. That's both what we're about.
So if you don't take out the trash, does he make you do laps around the backyard?
um, I think back in the day, yeah, that was definitely a thing, but hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Well, I'm hope one of my favorite moments in sports that I got to watch happen was seeing Ken Griffey Jr., Senior, and Junior go back to back home runs. And, moments like that really stand out because of the connection to the fans. And I know it's genuine. And I hope the fans can really touch into that this season. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think yeah, our passion will definitely show, and I think yeah, that'll be very evident.
Brilliant. When we look at this season ahead for the Empire Strikers, we know the team goal is to be hoisting that Ron Newman Cup at the end of the year. But do you have any personal goals set for this season you'd like to share with us?
I mean, I know I'm listed as a defender slash midfielder, but I do want to get on the score sheet a couple times this year. But yeah, you kind of stole the words from my mouth. Lifting that trophy is what I want, and yeah, nothing's more fun than me. So yeah.
Well, fortunately, strikers have always played a style of ball where defenders are expected to shoot. So can't wait to see some of those long range bombers come in, or maybe maybe get a little breakaway, get yourself up front there. We'll see what happens.
Let's see. Let's see. But
You got
yeah,
you got to
playoffs
you got to do
first,
that.
then
You got to do that
trophy.
steal and just boom straight down 1-on-1 versus the keeper. I can't wait to call it.
Oh yeah.
Big moment for the fans is going to be December 15th, Toyota Arena, the home opener. It's going to be a tough first stretch of games for Empire. You're going to open the season heading down to Mexico, facing a very tough Monterrey team. Then you got to face the reigning champs in the Chihuahua Savage, and you come home for your home opener against the Eastern Conference champs in the Baltimore Blast. The emotions of that home opener, your first chance to play in front of all the fans. Do you have some initial thoughts and feelings about that? And then have you looked ahead to the Blast and any scouting you've done on some of these formidable teams that you're going to be facing off against here at the start of the season?
Yeah, well, I guess working backwards from that, the Blast is an organization that myself and my father both know pretty well from his time playing there and us both living there. Know a lot of players and coaches in that organization, so that's going to be a tasty one for everyone involved. And I think starting the season down in Mexico it's going to be a great challenge. A lot of new faces on this team, a lot of people new to the indoor game. So I think it's a great test to to play the best. You got to beat the best to be the best. So I think yeah, getting a chance to go down there and play them so early in the season is going to be really good for us to see where we're at and where we need to be come springtime.
Do you have any emotions or expectations around the home opener on December 15th?
I can't even put into words how excited I haven't played a game of soccer in California in 10 years, so I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Well, you've been very generous with your time today. We have one last question before we send you home, and this one's not going to be around the world of soccer. So you can take a deep breath and relax. This one's just going to be a fun personal question. So I'd like to know, for Anthony Wright, if money was no object, what does the perfect night out look like? Where are you going? Where are you going to go eat? And who are you taking with you?
Oof. That's still a heavy hitter, I would say. Um, God,
I was just
I
trying to
really like
soften the
that.
blow.
No, I do like that question though. I do like that question. Um, Honestly, if you asked me a month ago, it would have been San Diego because I just missed it so much here. Somewhere in Southern California. Good food, maybe hibachi, maybe Korean barbecue. So some interactive food, let's say, and with good friends and family. That yeah, I'm pretty simple like that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for helping the fans get to know you a little bit better. Folks, Anthony Wright, new signee for the Empire Strykers. We'll be back at you the rest of the week with more player announcements.
Thank you.